This is candle science, a probability engine built on the dailyprofiler.com. Big shout out to T-Trades. Candle science was inspired by his life's work. We wanted to put probabilities on his concept, and it turned out to be the one thing that works in every market environment, every volatility regime. You pick an asset, pick a time frame, and it tells you what price will probably do next. How? By looking at the last two candles and what they did. Open, high, low, close. Each one has if-then statements associated with it. If it does this, it's more likely to do that. Tested on over 87,000 hourly candles. In this class, we'll cover the hourly and the 3-hour, but this applies to any time frame or sequence you put it on. And across all of it, one thing stood out. The opening price shifts everything. What are we actually looking at? Every candle has an open, high, low, and close. You already know this. But when you look at 3 candles in a row, something powerful emerges in the data. We call them C1, C2, and C3. C1 is 2 candles back. It's your reference. C2 is 1 candle back. How it closed set the current probability. C3 is the current candle. That's what you're putting probability on. Here's the key insight. How C2 closed tells you what C3 will probably do. That single relationship is the engine behind everything. Now, C3 can be in one of 2 states. Either nothing's been taken yet, or a high or low has been taken. That state changes everything. We'll get to that next. We call the output the flag. Flag up means the high is more likely to get hit. Flag down means the low is more likely to get hit. That's all a flag is, which direction has the higher probability for that time frame. Every candle decision comes from asking 3 questions, in order. First, did price take out a prior high or a prior low? If no, you're in what we call C3 state. You're trading the probability for the high or low. The previous candle's open is your anchor, unless price takes it out. If yes, if a high or low got taken, that's the trigger. You shift into C2 state. Now you're tracking. Question 2. What's your anchor now? In C2 state, the current candle's open becomes your line in the sand. Question 3. How is this candle going to close relative to that open? Because that close, that's what sets the probability for the next candle. 2 states. C3 trading probability. C2 tracking the close. 1 trigger, a high or low gets taken. 1 rule, the close determines the shift. Now watch what happens when we look at the opening price. In the base data, when a candle takes the low, only 24% take the high. 65% continue lower. Bearish, right? But here's the magic. When price touches the opening price after taking the low, those numbers flip. 59% now take the high. 45% take the low. And this isn't just one scenario. In every single sequence we tested, every combination of C1 and C2, on every time frame, daily, 3-hour, weekly, the moment C3 breached the previous opening price, the probabilities flipped. Every time. That's what makes the open so powerful. Here's the rule. If price can't take out the mid or the open, keep going with momentum. If price crosses over the open, you've got a reversal. Alerts are the previous time fractals, mid-confirmations are the previous time fractals opens. Which open are you watching? Your state determines the answer. If you're in C3 state, trading the probability for the high or low, you're watching the previous candle's open. The previous open is still your anchor unless price takes it out. The moment a high or low gets taken and you shift into C2 state, the answer changes. Now you're watching the current candle's open. A high or low is taken. Now track how this candle closes relative to its own open. That close determines the flag for C3. Here's the fractal piece. On the hourly, you track with quarters and the 05 box. On the 3-hour, you track with line and apex signatures. Same rule set, different time frame. That's what a fractal is. And here's the key. The hourly and the 3-hour can be in different states at the same time. H1 could be in C2 while H3 is still in C3. You have to track them separately. Let's check on your learning. Take a look at this chart. I want you to answer 3 questions. 1. What state are you in? 2. Where is the higher probability? 3. Which open are you focused on? The current hour's open or the previous hour's open? If you said C3 state, watching the previous open, and the higher probability is the C2 high because we didn't breach the previous hour open, you would be correct. We're in C3 state because no high or low has been taken yet. The previous hour open is still our anchor. And since we didn't breach it, we keep trading the existing probability, which is the higher probability for the high. Remember, the previous hour open is the line. If C3 breaches it, the probabilities flip. Until then, you're trading the existing probability. Time for another check on learning. Look at this chart. I want you to answer 4 questions. 1. What state are you in? 2. Which open matters? 3. What live price component do you use to guide the H1 close? 4. What live price component do you use to guide the H3 close? If you said C2 state, the current open, 05 box and quarters for the hourly live price, and line and apex signature for the 3-hour live price, you would be correct. We're in C2 state because a high or low has been taken. That means we're watching the current open, tracking how C2 closes relative to it. And in C2 state, these are your live price components. For the hourly, the 05 box and quarters guide you into the close. For the 3-hour, the line and apex signature do the same thing. Same rules, different time frame. That's what a fractal is. Now here's the thing. What you just watched. This is layer 1, the live price element. There are layers you haven't seen yet. The daily profile, knowing where the entire day is going before the first candle closes. The 4-step reversal, catching the turn with structure, not guesswork. MAE and MFE, measuring how far a move can go before it's done. This is what we build in the bootcamp, brick by brick, with live examples. Every single day, most traders lose because they're guessing. You don't have to guess anymore. The data is there. We just showed you. If you're tired of watching the market move without you, if you're tired of second-guessing every entry, if you want to know, with data, which side has the higher probability before you ever place a trade, then stop watching from the sideline. Go to thedailyprofiler.com, join the bootcamp, and start trading with the probabilities on your